guys, a warm welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you all about my 355. Now, it's a Ferrari that doesn't feature much on this channel, and that is because it's a garage queen. It goes completely against everything I believe in, but yes, this car just gets parked up and not used. Completely the opposite to the 360 out there that you all know I use on a daily basis. So I am now going to pull this out into the sunshine. I'm going to tell you all about this car. While I pull it out the garage, grab yourself a cup of coffee, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and enjoy the show. With the hot sunshine finally making an appearance here in the UK, it would be a crime not to put this spider's roof down. So let's see just how good this 25-year-old design really is. There you go, not too painful at all for a 25-year-old design. That's pretty good. And it's not too bad either putting it back up, maybe a second or two longer, but it doesn't look too appealing, too pretty in its current state. Ferrari sorted that out. They gave you a nice leather tonneau cover that you put over the top of this. That, however, takes a little bit of time to put in place. So let's try our usual bit of magic and see if we can get it done a bit quicker. And there you go, still got that magic touch. Now I'm sure you all agree the 355 is one of the prettiest Ferraris to come out of the factory in the last 40 years. Pininfarina did a magnificent job sculpting the lines on this car. It doesn't matter if it's a Spider, if it's a Berlinetta hardtop, or the GTS with its Targa panel. It is just a stunning car from all angles. And really, prior to that, we had the 348, the Ratarossa, those eras with all the slats down the side. And it wasn't really until we go back as far as the 308 and the Dino where we've got this lovely body shape. So the 355 really changed the game again for Ferrari. But what is it apart from the looks of the Ferrari that make this car so special? Well, to start with, there's the noise that this makes. Cinque valvo, 5 valves per cylinder. Have a listen to this. Let's take a look at the money shot on the 355. That gorgeous 3.5 litre V8 engine. Let's open up the back there. And there it is in its full glory. Now, Ferrari did do a recall back in the day for certain issues on this one, which unfortunately, if not rectified, led to an engine fire. Now, Hoovy with his 355 is probably the most famous one to have caught fire. But prior to that, many years before, I also experienced something rather similar. Have a look at this. Now, this was my first 355 Spider almost 20 years ago now. And when I got that car, it was like a dream come true. I'd had the 355 posters on my bedroom wall. And when I finally took ownership of my first one, I was so happy. But after owning the car for 3 years, it was time to move on, and I upgraded the car to the newer model, which was this 360 Spider. So I sold the 355 to a lovely chap who had the car for a year until this happened. Now, the nice new owner of the 355 enjoyed the car for about a year, and then one sunny spring day decided to go for a drive out in the country hills. Unfortunately, that drive ended in disaster. Frank was flagged down by a fellow driver who'd seen smoke coming from the back of the 355. He pulled over, he opened the engine bay and discovered a tiny flame of fire. However, unfortunately, Frank was not carrying a fire extinguisher, so all he could do was stand back as the fire got worse and worse until it burnt that beautiful 355 to the ground. So the simple moral of this story, guys, is it doesn't matter which Ferrari model you have, always keep a fire extinguisher in the car. My Ferrari 355 here is absolutely standard. It's as it came out of the factory at Maranello, and I've done that on purpose to keep this one very original. It's the complete opposite of my 360, where I've shown you we converted that standard 360 Modena into a nut and bolt challenge Stradale spec car. This one, everything is as it was sold. So our rear grille here is the normal one. This is not the upgraded challenge spec mesh car. And again, and the engine, we've got the V8 naturally aspirated lump. The exhaust system is all standard, so our muffler, manifolds and cat are all as they came from the factory. That's a normal upgrade that many people put on these cars and does sound fantastic. Interior wise, again, nothing has been changed in here at all. We've even got the original radio in here, which is the Ferrari Becker system. And I like to keep this one as it came out of the factory. Many people, like I say, upgrade at least the exhaust system, and it does transform that already great engine note into something that's pretty magical. Have a listen to this. Now that is my kind of music. Over the years, I've been fortunate enough to own 4 355s, and a few years ago, I bought a highly sought after Berlinetta Coupe, complete with manual gearbox, finished in stunning Rosso Corsa with tan leather. I got it from a French dealer over in Paris. Flew over there, picked up the car, and enjoyed a magnificent Top Gear style drive 250 miles back to the UK. Let's jump in my grey Spider, take it for a drive and have a little chat. Let's talk about a Ferrari 355. So this one, let's just do that first. This car is 21 years old. This is one of the last 355s built back in 1999. And you can look at the numbers on paper. This is like 370 brake horsepower. So compared to today's cars, today's Ferraris, you know, some of them are 3 times the power of this car almost, and yet this still puts a great big smile on your face. Right, this is my 4th 355 in the last 20 years. I don't really show this one on the channel because in truth I don't use it enough. Unlike my other ones, this is just a really mint pristine car. and I don't really put enough miles on this. It's at 21,000 miles currently, which is low for a 355. I've had all versions of it, so Spider GTS and the Berlinetta Coupe hardtop. I particularly like the Spiders. One reason I like the Spiders is because when you put the roof down, the only reason I've got it up at the moment is so you guys can hear me, but I have driven Spiders in all weather, rain, snow, cold weather. It's such a really well designed roof system that you sit down here, and unless you're 7 foot tall, if you sit down a little bit, and you know, this is the typical driving stance from a Ferrari, classic 90s Ferrari kind of long armed stance in the driving position here. Your head doesn't get cold. Favourite little tunnel on my route all the time. Let's talk about servicing on a 355. Okay, so that is what many consider the Achilles heel of a 355. So the big cost is cam belts. Okay, so cam belts are recommended every 3 years on a 355. People generally do them between 3 and 5 years because the cars just don't get used as much as they used to. So it's down to mileage, and it's obviously down to age of belts and stuff like that. But here's the thing. So the typical way to do the cam belts, or the recommended way to do cam belts on a 355, is you have to drop the whole of the engine in its frame at the back of the car. And to do it properly, it's a 40-hour build, a 40-hour job. So it can be quite horrendous with the price. However, there are ways to do that to cut your costs. All right, and one of those ways is you can drop the fuel tanks, and you can change the belts with the engine in the car. Okay, so it's a little bit more difficult. However, I would compare it pretty much to a 360. The amount of space you have when you drop the tanks to get to those belts is about the equivalent of when you take the access panel out from behind the seats on a 360, and that's the way you do it from factory from Ferrari on a 360. So my point is, if you do it that way, the belts with the tank dropped, if you go to a specialist, the typical cost here in the UK for doing belts is about £750. Okay, £750. So it's not cheap, but it's not 10,000 like many quotes. But my point is, you can compare that to taking an Audi or a Mercedes or a BMW for a major service, and the price is probably going to be pretty much the same. You know, there's a lot of people who, lovely little Dino in there, there's a lot of people who want to enjoy Ferrari ownership, but just are so scared by all these rumours that these cars literally break down or blow up every time you drive them. It's not true. I've driven more Ferraris over more miles than probably 95% of people, probably more Ferrari owners there, 95% of Ferrari owners. I've dailied my 360 for the last 10 years, and before that I've dailied a Ferrari for the last 20 years, let's put it that way, okay? And they are not bad, yeah? So speak to somebody with experience, not someone who just reads something in a magazine. And there you go, guys, that is the beautiful Ferrari 355. This is going to be appearing a bit more on the channel over the next few weeks. We've got a full service happening on it. Then we've got a step-by-step cam belt service that I'll be filming on this one to help you guys out as we've done on the other Ferraris. But before that, we're going to get this car out. It has been sat around in here for a few months. It doesn't look bad on video, but believe me, it's quite a dirty state of affairs at the moment. So we are going to get that out. We're going to give it a top-to-toe detail, along with something I've never used on any of the cars before. And you'll believe me because you've seen the state of the 360 and the 308. I'm going to try ceramic coating on this and just see how good it is, if it's as good as the hype surrounding it. Anyway, that will be coming up. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, check out the old Instagram channel where I will be posting daily updates of what is going on here on the cars, on the projects, behind the scenes, along with some cryptic quizzes like the one today. So check that one out. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. I will see you extremely shortly in the next one. Ciao for now.